Hi everyone, welcome to ABC Interactive English. I'm Mike.
And I'm Rainbow.
And today we're going to be talking about a dialogue with the title, How Do You Feel? That's a great question to ask someone when you can see that they might be upset, or even if you haven't seen them in a while and you just want to make sure they're okay. So how do you feel today, Rainbow?
You know what? I have to tell you something.
Oh, okay. What's going on?
I feel a little bit frustrated at my company because of something that I'm dealing with regarding my manager.
Oh, you're having problems with your manager.
So I feel like she is just giving me too much work.
Okay.
And she's giving me other people's work too.
Wow.
And I just feel like because she's above me, I don't want to tell her, but I just feel a lot of pressure and I can't express it at work and I'm mad at her.
Interesting. Are there other people at work, coworkers you can maybe talk to about the problem? Maybe they can help you find a solution.
Yeah, but all the other coworkers I'm managing.
Oh.
So my direct manager is the only one that I'm supposed to be dealing with, but she's the one that's giving me pressure. And it's awkward if I tell one of the people that I manage that I'm under the pressure.
I see. If you complain about your manager to one of the people who works under you, that could be uncomfortable. So what about trying to talk to the manager? Maybe catch her on a Friday afternoon, or maybe find some time around a lunchtime. You can have a little lunch meeting and maybe bring it up in a gentler way or in a slightly more polite way.
That's a good idea.
Oh no, that's tough though when you're having trouble with your manager, because it can be a little scary. And people do have all sorts of troubles in our lives. We can deal with problems at work, problems at home, problems with our health, and having a good friend there, someone you can talk to, is really a wonderful way to find your way to a solution, or at least find your way to not being so upset and worried about some of these problems that life does bring us once in a while. So let's check out the first of our 3 dialogues we'll be looking at this month. And as I mentioned, this one is about how do you feel? Grace is helping Tate with a personal problem.
You look really worried. Is everything all right?
Not really. Remember my stomach pains?
Yes, you were very pale from all the pain.
Well, I went to my doctor about them, and he ran some tests on me.
All right, so yes, how do you feel is the title of our dialogue, and before we get into it, we can see it says, Grace is helping Tate with a personal problem. So these are our 2 characters, and Tate is the person, is the guy who's got a personal problem. So we're going to find out about that as we go through the dialogue. But let's talk about this word, personal.
Ooh, so personal sounds kind of like the word person, right? A person is me and you. So if something is personal, it means it relates to me or it relates to Mike himself. So we're not talking about a problem that's about the world. We're not talking about a problem that's about someone else. It's a personal problem. It's a problem that's just about me. And it could be kind of private. If it's a personal issue, it's something to do with my family or something to do with my health. It's not something that I tell everybody. It's a bit private because it relates to me as a person. So we can put a lot of words after the adjective. It could be personal issue, a personal problem, personal topics. These are things that are just about something that's in my heart, that's close to me, that I don't share with anyone. So in this case, one person is going to tell someone about something that they don't tell every single person in the world because it's a personal problem.
It's kind of private, it's kind of secret.
Very
you don't want
much
the whole world to know. Exactly right. So let's see what's going on. Who has a personal problem? Grace is the person who begins the dialogue.
You look really worried. Is everything all right?
All right, so she can see that her friend Tate probably has an unhappy look on his face. There's something about him that's just not normal and cheerful and happy today. and she's sensitive enough to see that. So Tate, he answers quite honestly. He says, not really. Yeah, not really. Everything is not really okay. He is having a bit of a problem. And then he mentions it. He says, remember my stomach pains? Okay, so remember, kind of talking about something that happened in the past. Do you have the memory of that time, maybe last week, and I told you, oh, it hurts after I eat meals and I'm a little worried. I think I should see a doctor. Stomach pains, pains in the stomach. And yeah, if that goes on for a few days, you might start to get worried.
Yes, you were very pale from all the pain. So we're talking about somebody who's getting quite sick because they're very, very pale, and that's not a good sign.
Yeah, when you lose that sort of pink healthy look from your face, it can definitely be a sign that something's wrong, maybe with your stomach or something else. Your stomach, this is a big organ in your body. It's basically that bag where the food goes after you chew it up in your mouth, swallow it down your throat. It goes into your stomach and then it eventually goes into the toilet. But the stomach is where our food goes after we eat, and it digests and it turns all the food into healthy vitamins that give our bodies energy. So your stomach could have pain. We can also, of course, say a stomach ache. S-T-O-M-A-C-H. A-C-H-E, one word, that is pain in your stomach or a stomach ache. So he's had stomach pain or a stomach ache for a few days.
And not only does he have stomach ache, it's aching so much that he turned very pale. So as Mike mentioned before, being pale is when the color leaves your face and you just look very white. Now this isn't the whiteness that you just have normally if you have a nice face and you look bright. It's actually when you look sick. So pale is bad because the blood is not in your face. Maybe you're about to faint. Maybe you can't breathe. A person who is very pale is going to probably need a hospital or some help very soon.
All right, so it's definitely not a healthy looking person.
Not a good sign.
All right, let's get back to Tate. He says, well, I went to my doctor about them and he ran some tests on me. So he had these pains, this hurt feeling, this uncomfortable feeling in his stomach, a stomach ache. And so he went to the doctor to ask about him, and the doctor did the right thing and decided to learn more about his problem. And often in a hospital, if you have a problem, they need to find out what it is by running some tests. He could say he did some tests or he tested me in some way, but to run some tests probably means they took some blood or they used a special camera to look inside his body, that kind of thing, just to check to make sure that everything is going on okay. And if there is a problem, hopefully these tests will show them what the problem is. All right, well, we have a small problem here. We have to take a break. So we'll do that, and then we'll be right back.
I'm pleased you did that. When do you get the results back?
Today. I'm a little scared and nervous to hear them. What if my problem is really serious?
Don't think like that. You probably just had a bad case of gas or something.
I hope that's all it was.
Welcome back, everyone. So Tate was just telling Grace about his stomach pain and the fact that he went to the doctor and the doctor did some tests to find out what's wrong.
Well, it's a good thing that he did that. So Grace says, I'm pleased you did that. When do you get the results back? So of course they care a lot about each other and they want to make sure everybody's fine. So it's always a good thing if you have a problem to consult a professional, and that happens. So Grace is happy.
That's absolutely true. A lot of people don't, right? They think, oh, I'll just ignore it,
fine.
or oh, I had spicy hot pot 2 days ago. That's why I have stomach pain. Ignoring the problem, especially if it's been around for a few days or more than a week, is not a good thing to do. You definitely need to check yourself out. I'm talking to a lot of the men in the audience, right? Older men, maybe your dad or someone. Oh, I don't go to the hospital. No, you should go to the hospital, get those tests done, because the results can guide the doctor and the nurses to the right solution for you the right way to make you feel better. But yes, after the test, they need results. Results are basically the information that the test shows up. A result can be a lot of different things, but when we talk about tests or experiments or doing scientific research, the results is the information that you get after you do the test, right? You'll take the blood and put it in a computer or whatever they use, the special machines to measure everything, and then the data or information they get out at the end, those are the results. And with that information, as I said, doctors and nurses can have a good idea of what's wrong with you and how to make you better. So hopefully he'll get good results that show he's not very seriously sick and not bad results, which could mean more trips to the hospital. Anyway, so when does he get these results back? Tate goes on to say today. Oh, so maybe this afternoon or something. He'll be going back to the doctor to talk to the doctor and look at those results. And understandably, he's a little bit nervous. He says, I'm a little scared and nervous to hear them. Yeah, people don't really want to get bad news. They want to get good news, but before you hear the results, you will worry. He says, what if my problem is really serious? A lot of people, maybe they look on the internet and they find out, oh, a stomach ache
cancer
could be cancer. It could be something that will kill me. I mean, usually, of course, it's not. Don't look on the internet for the reason you're feeling sick. That's right. You'll just scare yourself. It's probably not something too serious.
Okay, and if something is very serious, that means it needs to be taken care of now. It's a big deal. So a serious problem isn't just, oh, you know, I'm just gonna go take a nap or I'm gonna just take some medicine. You probably have to go to the doctor and get a lot of tests, or it could hurt so much that you could be bleeding from the inside, or maybe you could be losing your life very soon, so you need help immediately. That is something very serious. So we can use the adjective serious to describe serious problem, serious issue. If I say, we have a serious issue to discuss, that means that if we don't deal with this right now, there might be bigger problems, and it's not just something very small. So something very serious is something that's very heavy, it has a lot of weight, it needs to be dealt with immediately. So that is what Tate is hoping is not going to happen. And Grace continues to respond, don't think like that. Like, don't worry and don't make that problem bigger than it might be. You probably just had a bad case of gas or something. So that's just, you know, eating too quickly or not digesting properly. You have this air in your stomach and you're very uncomfortable. And that could happen if you eat very quickly or if you're under a lot of stress.
That's true. Spicy food.
Oh, yeah.
Certain kinds of food and drink, just not being very healthy, can give you all sorts of unusual problems. And once your body sort of gets back to normal, you'll feel normal again. And that, of course, would be a good result for Tate, a good answer or a good explanation for his pain. He says, I hope that's all it was. I hope it's just a bad case of gas or a little bit too much spicy hot pot or something like that. Hopefully his case isn't too serious. And when we talk about a case here, we're kind of talking about a situation, something that happens to you, especially when it relates to doctors or possibly also to lawyers. One job, one situation, one problem is often referred to as a case. You'll see it in a police show or a police movie. We have a very serious case. There's a murderer in the city. Or you could have a legal case, or you could have a minor case, a small situation. But basically, if we're talking about one job, one problem, one situation that doctors or lawyers are referring to, that could be a case. So hopefully his case isn't too serious and he feels better very, very soon. All right, guys, thanks for joining us. All the best health and happiness to you all. We'll see you back here tomorrow for another very interesting dialogue featuring some of our favorite friends. Grace is helping Tate with a personal problem.
You look really worried. Is everything all right?
Not really. Remember my stomach pains?
Yes, you were very pale from all the pain.
Well, I went to my doctor about them, and he ran some tests on me.
I'm pleased you did that. When do you get the results back?
Today. I'm a little scared and nervous to hear them. What if my problem is really serious?
Don't think like that. You probably just had a bad case of gas or something.
I hope that's all it was.
Hello, I'm Tina. 我们来看这一课的重点单字。第一个 stomach 名词，胃、腹部。He kicked Joe in the stomach. 他踢了 Joe 的腹部。下一个单字 pale 形容词，苍白的。You're looking pale. Are you okay? 你看起来脸色苍白，你还好吗？下一个单字 result 名词，结果。I won't know the results of the test until May. 我的检测结果要到5月才会知道。最后一个单字 serious 形容词，严重的。The mistake you made is very serious. 你犯的错误很严重。接着我们来看重点文法。第一个 go to one's doctor 指的是看医生，也可以说 see a doctor。我们来看看这个例句。Mary is not feeling well. She needs to see a doctor. Mary 不太舒服，她需要去看医生。下一个文法 what if 加主词加动词，要是发生什么事情怎么办呢？ What if 表示要是如果，用来假设某个情况会发生。我们来看看这个对话 What if it rains tomorrow? 要是明天下雨怎么办呢？ Then we have to cancel the trip. 那我们就必须取消旅行了。最后一个文法 a case of something 某症状的案例。case 的前面可以加上形容词，例如 bad, serious, terrible 等等，来修饰我们的病症的情况。我们来看看这个例子 Lucy got a terrible case of COVID. Lucy 得了严重的新冠肺炎。以上就是这一课的重点单字跟文法，回去记得好好复习哦。我们下一课再见，拜拜。
Jin Huang, a rich merchant, opened Yu Zhenjai in 1877. Huang made pastries for his guests at parties, and this led him to make pastries as a career. Later generations of the family continued his work. Yibin Huang, the fifth-generation owner, still makes pastry in the traditional ways. Yu Zhenjai's mung bean cake is made with top-quality local mung beans that are roasted and stir-fried on low heat, ground, and mixed with peanut oil. The creamy mung bean cake has the strong aroma of beans. The sesame, plum, milk, green tea, and almond pastries are each delicious in different ways. Beauty's Eyes, which goes well with tea, got its name from its shape, which is like a beautiful woman's eyes. Yu Zhenjai specially designed a mix of mung bean cakes and milk pastries in a Chinese chess pastry set. The pastries are the Chinese chess pieces, and the box opens up like a chessboard. Mung bean pastries, taro mochi cake, and peanut rice nibs are also popular.